First, you're gonna add in a cup and a half of warm water and a tablespoon of butter that are combined and heated up together. And you wanna make sure it's not too hot because you don't wanna kill the yeast, but you don't want it to be too cold or the bread won't rise quickly. So it should be about like the temperature of your body. So now you're gonna add in a tablespoon of yeast, and you're gonna mix this and kind of let it, I think it's called bloom. Probably gonna let it bloom for like 5 minutes. And while that's waiting, I'm gonna preheat the oven at 425. And you also wanna add in a tablespoon of sugar, just for something for the yeast to eat. Now you're going to add in 2 cups of flour. And now you're gonna combine until it's kind of like a little soup, or I don't know. Yeah, kind of like consistency, like a mud almost. So like about this consistency, like oatmeal, yeah. Now you're gonna add in about a tablespoon of salt. And 2 large eggs. This is going to be almost like a mix of a white bread and a challah bread. Now you're going to add like 3 more cups of flour. You can add, you should use bread flour, but I'm using all-purpose because that's all the flour we have.
And this should make about a loaf. A double loaf makes about 3 loaves.
Okay, this is 5 cups of flour so far. Fully, I just added 2 cups. So now we're gonna mix it until it becomes like a dough. So I'm gonna stop using this and I'm gonna start using my hands. If you want a more fluffy dough, you can add less flour. And if you want a more dense dough, like for sandwich bread, you can add, well, I guess either way, it could be sandwich bread, but you can add more flour. I'm gonna add a bit more. So probably this whole recipe in total uses about 6 cups of flour. Now I'm gonna put it on the table to knead. So you're just gonna knead it until all the flour's picked up and like it's rather smooth. So what I'm doing, I'm pushing, grabbing, pulling back, pushing with the other hand, grabbing, pulling back, like that. So there we have a nice dough. It's nice and fluffy and very stretchy and not very dense, which is what I want. So now what I'm going to do is wash out this bowl and then put some olive oil in, then put this in and let it rest. Okay, so I don't think we're gonna need all of this, so I'm gonna cut off a little corner. Because like I said, a whole recipe makes 3. That means a half recipe, or I should say a double recipe makes 3. So a regular recipe should make about 1.5. So what I'm doing, I'm kind of stretching it out a little bit. And you're gonna kind of wanna do like an envelope fold, fold and fold. And then you wanna roll it a little bit. And then you wanna stretch it out a bit more.
Envelope fold, fold. We kind of want to stretch it. And roll it. That's a lot, it should at least. So we don't have to do anything for the pan to prepare it. You could spray it, you could add some parchment, but I'm just going to put it right in. So you want to, that's a really good size. We're going to put that in.
And because we have some extra, I'm gonna make something really yummy. Basically what I'm doing is making some cinnamon sugar twist rolls. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna roll this out. Okay, so I got some butter, and what I'm gonna do, I'm kind of gonna roll it on or layer it on, kind of like to laminate it. Is that what it's called? Where you make it fluffy and crispy? Kind of like what you do with croissant dough. I'm gonna spread it on. So now I'm going to fold it back over. I'm gonna roll it out again. And this should make it very layery and crispy. Thin, because I want nice big pieces. So here I got a little cinnamon sugar mixture that I made by cinnamon sugar, brown sugar, and some melted butter. And I'm just gonna, and now I am going to roll it up. And I'm actually gonna, before I cut this, I'm going to wrap it and freeze it for about like 30 minutes just so it holds its shape. Okay, so now what we are going to do, oopsie, is cut them.
Now we'll slice it through here and put them on a round baking sheet. So I was using some parchment and they were pretty good. So I'm just gonna put them in there. And then this will be a good snack for school tomorrow.
And then you can egg wash them, which is what I'm gonna do. And then I'm gonna bake these at 425 for like 20 minutes. Okay, so this rose. So now we're gonna bake this at 425 for 15 minutes, then lower the temperature down to 375 for 15 more minutes. And I'm going to egg wash it with this egg wash I have, and then we can bake it. You can top it with poppy seeds or sesame seeds, or just leave it plain. I'm gonna leave it plain. And at the end of baking, you can put some honey on it and it'll give it a nice shine at the top. But I egg washed it and now it's put in the oven for 475 for 15 minutes, then 425 for 15 minutes, then 375. We got our little cinnamon swirl bites and then we got our nice loaf of bread. Let's try them. They're super good.